Light off. Oh, light on. This feels more natural. Let's go with it. Welcome to my studio. This is where the magic happens. And we're going to be talking about some hopefully magic things today. Welcome to Commitment to Growth, whether you're new or you're not new. It is so happy to be here with you today. My name is Mariana. I'm the founder of Commitment to Growth Resilience Coaching, where I am helping women heal cycles of disconnection, dysregulation, and disempowerment. And my goal in this fun little corner of the internet is to help women turn anxiety into confidence, fears into fierce self-confidence, and self-disconnection into self-reclamation. And today, we are going to talk about how to reclaim ourselves in our intimate relationships. This is a hot topic right now. I've been seeing a lot of videos about how to attract your soulmate in 24 hours or how to make yourself unrecognizable for the next person that walks into your life. But I thought I would take a slightly different angle at this topic. If you clicked on this video, there's a good chance that you are at a place in your life in which you might feel a little bit unfulfilled in your relationships. You might feel like the current friendships or romantic pursuits that you have right now feel very kind of like they're lacking intimacy, there's lack of emotional depth, lack of vulnerability, and you're looking to call in relationships that make you feel more alive and excited and inspired and seen and held. And today, what I really want to do is give you the tools to understand where you need to make shifts in your interior world and in your mindset to call in those relationships and recognize the people that are going to work with you to build those kinds of relationships. The first thing I want you to recognize is that the current relationships in your life are a mirror to what is going on in your internal world and inside your mind. What I mean by this is that the beliefs that you hold about who you are and what you deserve will reflect in your intimate relationships because our mind works by confirmation bias. When you believe something about yourself, whether positive or negative, your mind will take that belief and seek to confirm it in unconscious ways. So, for example, if you don't deserve that you are somebody who deserves to be listened to, or that your problems don't carry weight because you don't deserve to complain, or you don't deserve to express your vulnerability, you will find yourself in relationships where you might be the therapist, right? Your friends might always be the ones coming to you about their problems and trauma dumping on you, but they will never hold space for you because you don't believe fundamentally that you deserve to be given that space. Or if you don't believe that you're somebody who is worthy of love, you might find yourself in romantic relationships where you are always the one taking the initiative to have the hard conversations, to express yourself to this person, and constantly feeling like this person is coming up short, or they're not being romantic enough, or they're not being deep enough with you, they're not taking interest in you, again, because you are unconsciously confirming the belief that you're walking into that relationship with. For me, what I really had to reckon with earlier in my personal growth journey is that a core belief that I held is that my needs didn't deserve to be met. I grew up being very used to being the mediator in my household. I was always the kid that was told that self-sacrifice looks pretty on little girls, and that is how you earn respect, by putting your needs aside and focusing on service. And this was largely put into my mindset through when I was Roman Catholic, through the church, as the eldest daughter of immigrants. And it's nobody's fault, right? But when you grow up with that conditioning, you learn, at least I learned in my case, that I had to guarantee love through self betrayal in order to be respected and seen as desirable. It wasn't until my last romantic experience with a guy, I was in this situation and I watched myself chronically silence myself, chronically fail to voice what I was feeling, particularly in moments where it really wasn't okay, that I felt like my boundaries were being crossed. And being in that and feeling so unsafe because I didn't feel like I could trust myself, I didn't feel like I could trust this person, it brought up 10, 15 years of trauma in situations where I hadn't voiced myself, and it all accumulated to make me feel so unsafe that I spiraled into an anxiety attack where I almost hospitalized myself. This anxious episode lasted For days, I couldn't leave the house. I was so afraid because I was just having all of these flashbacks. But what I really had to understand is that the person that I was really angry at, and the reason why I was feeling super unsafe, is because I had never, up until that point, done the work to develop the safety in the knowing that my boundaries, my words, my needs are worthy of being expressed. And that's a very extreme example, and I haven't shared that story much here on the channel, but it just goes to show the effects of trauma when we suppress it, when we negate ourselves and what we're worthy of, because we are too afraid of taking the step to find out how our truth might actually be what liberates us. And so, after going through that experience, I had to understand that the patterns that I kept engaging in were coming from this very deep subconscious belief that my truth was too much for other people. And in believing that, I was approaching relationships from fear. And so, what I want to ask you is the same question. Are you moving into relationships from fear or from love? And let me tell you the quickest way to know the difference. The quickest way to know if you are moving through relationships from fear or from love is that if you're moving from fear, you are constantly testing the people in your life to get them to disprove the beliefs that you hold about yourself. So this might look like you're never the one to make plans first. You're always trying to see if your friends call you on the Friday night or they initiate plans. And if they don't, you likely get really angry or upset with them. Or you shift back into, well, obviously they're not messaging me because I don't deserve their time. Or if you're the kind of person that doesn't believe that you deserve to be heard, you might bottle up emotions and feelings. And maybe you come home from work and you're slamming cupboard doors, or you're kind of sitting on the couch like this, waiting to see if your partner or your family or your friends notice that you're upset. And if they don't ask, then you get upset at them, or you tell yourself, well, obviously they're not going to ask because, like, I'm not really that important, right? Another way to know if you're moving from fear or from love is, what is your initial reaction to meeting someone new? I know something that I used to engage in a lot was when I'd meet another guy that I found really attractive, is my first thought was, is he the one? And I would dig and dig and dig, and I had my like list of questions ready to go, right? Like, was he into personal growth? Did he have a good relationship with his mom? Like, all these things that I would just like analyze and overemphasize because I so badly wanted this person to be the one. But a layer deeper to that was, I wanted this person to fill a hole inside of me that I hadn't learned how to fill for myself yet. And again, that reinforced the loop of getting into relationships with people who gave me any kind of affection that I felt valued and I felt somewhat seen and somewhat validated, because I didn't believe that I was lovable. Versus now, having done years of personal work and in spending intentional time single and healing my codependency, I'm no longer seeking something from a person. The mindset that I walk around with now is love without expecting love in return. And that's not the same as self abandonment and sacrificing myself and my needs. What I mean by that is that I am so secure in who I am, what I give myself, and what I can give others, that I give people my kindness out of a desire to brighten their day. And I think that is a perfect segue into the topic of, how do you know if you're moving through relationships with love instead of fear? When you're moving into relationships from fear, you're moving from scarcity. You are trying to get something from people that you need desperately because you haven't learned how to give it to yourself. You are seeking to tick boxes and fulfill a particular image of what a relationship with a partner romantically should look like, or what a friendship should look like on Instagram or TikTok, or from what your parents have been telling you makes a worthy partner, friend, coworker. Versus when you're moving from love, you are looking at a person as an addition to the wholeness that you already have within yourself. When you are moving from love, you recognize that you don't deserve to ask anybody to stay in your life, that you have no business convincing people that they should invest their time into you, that they should be friends or be interested in you. You open the door for people to share their wholeness with you and to come together within the things that make each of you you, and how your individuality expands your worldview and enriches your life versus filling a void that you have not yet learned to fill in your own healing journey. So, if you're ready to do the self reflection work to really understand how you can take control of your inner world and turn it into a beautiful, abundant mirror that calls in beautiful and abundant relationships, I encourage you to, once you're done this video, go grab your journal or a notebook or a piece of paper and make a T chart. And on one side of the T chart, you're going to write down all of the negative beliefs that you hold about yourself and your worth. They might be, I am unlovable, my needs don't deserve to be met, my problems aren't bad enough, my vulnerability is not desirable, it's ugly. Just dump it. Let it come out. If tears come out with it, it's okay. That's self-liberation. And next to the belief that you write down on that T chart on this side, I want you to write down the things that you do to confirm that belief. So again, in the example that I gave earlier about if you're not somebody that believes that you deserve to be heard and listened to and held, do you bottle up your emotions after a bad day of work? Do you avoid conflict with your partner or your friends to keep the peace? Do you have a hard time voicing yourself and stating boundaries because you feel like to be loved means to self-sacrifice? Whatever that is, this is how you become conscious of how you're moving from fear. And in the future, when you catch yourself engaging in those actions, you have the power to flip them. You have the power to act in a different way according to a new belief that you want to adopt. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of people's time. I am worthy of people's attention, emotional intimacy. You will only adopt a new mindset and a new belief system by acting from the beliefs that you want to be true. And it takes time because you're literally forming new habits, right? But just trust that the discomfort that you feel initially is not dictative of that you're doing something wrong. It actually means that you are transforming. And from that deep place of inner work and self mastery is where you're going to bloom into the version of you that is abundant and calls in the people that mirror the beauty that you also crave. So if you are ready to say goodbye to the relationships that leave you feeling drained, lonely, and unfulfilled, take 5 minutes after you finish watching this video to make that T chart and become conscious of what right now is your unconscious programming, your unconscious behavior patterns that keep leaving you in cycles of asking for less and being a lesser version of yourself than the one that you need to be to call in the people that reflect the beauty that you believe you deserve. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am so glad it reached you. Welcome to Commitment to Growth, and please do subscribe so that you can come back for more of these resilience coaching in a sip videos, because this is the movement of helping people see their names as a synonym for resilience that we are creating on this corner of the internet. Of course, if this served you, make sure to share this video with a friend who might also find it helpful. And if you are a woman, 18 years of age and older, I highly, highly encourage you to join my free virtual sisterhood, Belong, that has over 265 women right now, I think we're at. We do weekly Thursday calls. One Thursday we do Empowerment Hour, which is a 1-hour mindset session. And every other Thursday we do virtual sisterhood circles. It's a beautiful space for women to connect with like-minded women who are also into personal growth and healing and spiritual expansion. It is such a beautiful space, and there is never a dull moment in those sessions. Women have breakthroughs constantly, and they're connecting with each other outside of the sisterhood circle virtually. So I will link Belong in the video description so you can go join. Again, it's completely for free, and we meet every single week. And I think that's it. Thank you so much for being here. You are so loved and so appreciated, and I will see you in the next video.